I want to turn your attention to the 2025. This is a State Department report. On the line, State Department, Thomasina Ben, Brenda, Rena, Carol, Yonette. On the line, State Department, US, mind you, State Department. Trump, State Department. Biden, State Department. Right? The 2025 International Narcotics Strategy Report. That's the name of it. And it's reporting in two areas: on drugs and chemical control and on money laundering. Again, it's a US State Department report, and it's the 2025 International Narcotics Control and Strategy Report. If you share the life of this, you wicked. You wicked bacho. Plenty enough. I don't want to delay you all at all on this account. I want to head to it. Look at, I'm just pulling some of the things. And you all talk some of your friends in the PPP. Let us see valid and credible information. Feel free to tag some of them. I'm just pulling a couple nuggets from the report. A couple nuggets, not plenty. Right? Here's some of what this report says. Again, this is the 2025 International Narcotics Control Strategy Report from the US State Department. And it's talking about, here what it's talking about. It's talking about efforts of key countries to attack all aspects of the international drug trade for the calendar year 2024. It is describing efforts in key countries to attack all aspects of the international drug trade in the calendar year 2024. And it's reporting in two instances: in drug and chemical control and money laundering. In the first instance, here is some of what it said about the PPP government in 2024. Right? I'm quoting verbatim. The public sector, including law enforcement and customs officials, remain underpaid. It's not the opposition in Guyana saying that. They remain underpaid. Mind you, in light of the oil wealth, the report says this, in spite of the largest, in spite of the fastest growing economy, the high income country, the biggest capita per GDP, all this is on paper, remains underpaid, which, coupled with a lack of resources and shortcomings in the legal systems, allow drug traffickers to exploit government systems. It allows drug traffickers to exploit government systems. So when I see drug traffickers endorsing them boys, I say, oh Lord, the people know the story. The people here know the story. This is State Department, talking about the PPP administration. And this is the part of the report that's reporting on drug and chemical control. So that's number one. If you share the live yet, you're wicked. I vex at you. Here's another little nugget for you. The report says, this is the US State Department, the friend Rubio. Guyana continues to lack commitment and resources for significant progress in reducing drug demand. Pim, pim. Pim, pim. Pim, pim. 2024 for you. It's not 2020. It's not 2021, the report. No. Not 2022. Not 2023. They're in full command of the country and the commanding heights of the economy and the narco trade. This is what the State Department is saying. Guyana continues to lack commitment and resources for significant progress in reducing the drug demand. Folks, I tell you all, If you ain't share the life yet, you're wicked. You're part of the problem too. Valid and credible information. This is why I started the program. I ain't finished there, you know. No. We got a couple of minutes to go with other little nuggets. This is why I said to you when we started the program. Let me hold a focus. Right? We're not gonna be distracted by no house slave, by no soup drinker, by nobody who bending the knee and kissing the ring, because you trying to avoid a conviction and possibly, pay some fines or even jail time. I'm not going to be distracted by that. What I am acutely focused on is bringing you folks valid and credible information. If the PPP got information on me, I'll put it out there. Whatever it is, put it out there. Chronicle, whatever it is. If you ain't shared it live yet, folks, this is facts, This is not fiction. This is the U.S. State Department 2025 International Narcotics Control Strategy Report. It's a mouthful, and it's reporting in two areas: drugs and chemical control and money laundering. We're speaking about the first instance here, drug and chemical control. And the report describes the efforts of key countries like Guyana to attack all aspects of the international drug trade. And they're reporting for the calendar year 2024. The PP is 4 years in government. 4 years in government, and everything come back. So last thing I said to you is that the report says we lack the commitment and resources for significant progress in reducing drug demand. Here what else it says. Here what else it says. You remember Transparency International talked about corruption, and we fell on the index because corruption is so thorough and plenty. Hear what the State Department report is saying. Corruption poses a significant obstacle to Guyana's effort to combat drug trafficking. This is the thing I want to see them boys writing about. Y'all fire back at the State Department. It is talking about the PPPC administration, not Abdu AFC. It is talking about the PPPC administration. All them who endorsing and defending the drug traffickers. This is all the State Department talking about. Corruption poses a significant obstacle to Guyana's efforts to combat drug trafficking. When you see drug traffickers endorsing them boys, it's because they're welcomed there, they're embraced, they're cuddled. They're nestled neatly in the PPP. So the State Department says, U.S. State Department, this includes corruption within law enforcement, bribery, and nepotism. Nepotism, underline that in red. Anan, Chevron, Anan, underline that in red. Anan, underline that in red. Nepotism, friends, family, favorites, and flatterers. Nepotism. Listen to what the report says. Traffickers can evade prosecution due to drop charges or lack of serious investigations. The economic appeal of the drug trade also hinders efforts. Last year, remember that? We had in the history of the country the biggest cocaine bust. How many tons they found? How many tons? The biggest. So, our detractors who are on the live with your comments, don't fight we. Fight the State Department. Go make your post on Facebook and beat back the State Department. You can find this information for yourself on the internet, Just search for the 2025 International Narcotics Control Strategy Report. You'll find that. Read it for yourself. It's two reports, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And you'll see. Do your homework for yourself. Y'all are drug pushers. Y'all have turned this country into a narco state. Y'all have done it. So that's only part of what they say, Y'all have a couple of minutes more. Can I beg for 5 minutes more? Or should we close the show now? Can we take another couple of minutes? They got a couple other things, right? I want to see y'all firing off now. The trench crappers and them boys. I don't like to get too feisty early in the morning. But this is thing for make posts. Right, Jamesy? And talk about what narco state Guyana has become under the PPP. Under the PPP. I'd rather stand on my own, with my colleagues on this side, with clean hands, than kissing the ring and bending a knee to cocaine, than destroying the lives of people in our country. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I do good. Miss me. Miss me. This is what the report says. Here's another nugget for you. This is the 2025 International Narcotics Control Strategy Report, reporting for last year, 2024. Guyana is deeply entrenched in illicit drug trade. Guyana's deeply entrenched illicit drug trade contributes significantly to increased crime and corruption. Guyana's deeply entrenched illicit drug trade contributes significantly to increased crime and corruption. How are we going to ever solve it? If all you got to do is when you get catch, endorse them boys. When you get hold, endorse them boys. You all remember Suzanne's niece? Not Suzanne's niece. Parag. Sonia's niece. Sonia's niece got hold at Cherry Jagan International with cocaine strapped to her body. It wasn't in a suitcase alone. Cocaine strapped to her body. Zenil, where is she now? She facing time? Guyana's deeply entrenched illicit drug trade contributes significantly to increased crime and corruption. Increased crime and corruption. In those instances, that is volume 1 of the report talking about drugs and chemical control and efforts of key countries to attack all aspects of international drug trade for 2024. Here it's talking about money laundering. Here it's talking now about money laundering. This is volume 2 of the 2025 International Narcotics Control Strategy Report, volume 2, with the PP administration in 2024. Let these be the things that God will focus. These are the issues that are on the ballot in 2025. Are we going to continue to be a narco state under the PPP? Or are we going to turn a corner? Here what it says about money laundering. Money laundering in Guyana has grown into a systemic, Jesus of mercy, into a systemic issue. I want James M. run out with this. And Alfonso and all the rest. Y'all run out with this, man. Attack the State Department. Systemic issues involving both public officials and private citizens. Ow. Some of them part in the business with money laundering money. So how they can say a word on Facebook on this? How they can talk against their friends? How they might talk against themselves? How they can do it? They can't incriminate themselves. Money laundering, systemic issue. Here as the report says. Hope y'all got another 2-3 minutes. Y'all forgive me. The anti-money laundering infrastructure is improving, but faces challenges due to limited technological resources, weak oversight, and a lack of transparency in public procurement. Lack of transparency in public procurement. Remember the Transparency International report. You remember that report? It talked about the public sector, public procurement being captured. Here's the U.S. State Department in this 2025 International Narcotics Strategy Report on the same issue. Lack of transparency in public procurement, in the Bamia schools of this world, in the Bellevue contracts of this world. You remember those issues? Friends, family, favorites, and flatterers, and endorsers. Lack of transparency. before I let you go, take one more or two. Take one more or two. This is the 2025 International Narcotics Strategy Report. It says vulnerabilities in money laundering stem from a relatively small financial sector and limited regulatory resources. That 5 years. What have they brought to the National Assembly to stem that? Another aspect of the report on money laundering says there's high level of structuring at commercial banks linked to trade-based money laundering, and tax evasion continues. Oh, Jesus of mercy. Oh, Father of mercy. That's something for smash the emoji button. That's something for share the damn light. High levels of structuring at commercial banks is linked to trade-based money laundering and tax evasion continue. Pim Pim 2024. Tammy Gibbs, Gwyneth, Sion, Tommy, Leslie, Pim Pim. Pim Pim, Bam Bam. Bam Bam. Bam Bam. Hear this. Hear this one. Again, remember it says a lot of people in the drug area, policemen and so on, underpaid. Again, in money laundering, the underpaid and under-resourced Guyana Police Force, PPP, the underpaid and under-resourced Guyana Police Force is considered a weak link in the anti-money laundering efforts. Oh, Father, the PB promised to raise the salaries by 50%. How are we doing so far? Is how much they're given this year? 8%. The underpaid and under-resourced Guyana Police Force is considered a weak link in the anti-money laundering efforts. I think I'll stick in one more before I let you go. One for the road, as they say. One for the road, as they say. One more. Finally, folks, right? This says in the country's comparative table, this is according to the 2025 International Narcotics Control Strategy Report. In the country comparative table, Guyana is listed as N, negative, nada. You are the word to N, for having a system for identifying, freezing, and confiscation of illegal proceeds. So you might know people involved in money laundering. You might know people involved in the drug trade, right? And this is how they do the things they do. But in 5 years, while we have made some effort, the report says, in anti-money laundering efforts, right? People can still benefit from their ill-gotten gains. So we got a lot of work to do. Good folks, we got a lot of work to do. And that's why I said, it behooves all of us, you see, to hold a focus. To hold a focus. To hold a focus. And you know, there's a reason why you see them scampering about. They can say they're doing some anti-corruption workshop, and you can see a couple drug busts and so on, but nothing to really dent the thing. Right? It's all for show. It's all for photo ops. But let me show you this. Let me show you this. What the last administration did. Right? Let me show you this. Some of what the last administration did. Under the last administration, Tessa, we got our best ratings on the Transparency International Index. Best ratings ever as a country. And we didn't do nothing. Right? We run this country into the ground. Frap y'all. With your lies. With your lies and propaganda. Best ratings. Under the last administration and top middle, we were removed from the European Commission money laundering blacklist. Under the last administration, we didn't get on the blacklist. We were taken off. We were taken off. Right? Under the last administration, we received tier 1 status for our fight against trafficking in persons. Under the last administration, the DA's office was set up here. After decades trying on the PPP to deal with the illicit drug trade. Eh? Under the last administration, we come off another blacklist. This is the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force blacklist. That's all you get with the PPP, you know. A set of corruption and a set of blacklist. You're going to be placed on a set of blacklist. Concussion Road blacklist. Drug trafficking blacklist. Caribbean task for all them blacklists we can go on. Right? And of course, it was under us 10 days after taking office that very legislation that the report refers to, that got the teeth to do the work but never really want to implement it, that very legislation was implemented 10 days after taking office in May of 2015. Right? That countering the financing of terrorism, right? That anti-money laundering legislation was enacted. I mean, facts are stubborn things. You see? Facts are stubborn things. And as long as I hear, we can keep beating the iron on valid and credible information. We can keep doing it. And it behooves all of us, you know, when we come on, we have our small part to play too. You know, we have our small part to play too. I know some of you, because of your jobs and so on, you don't want to share the content because you're afraid of marginalization, of victimization, and all of that. All right, fair enough. But those of you who can, we want others to receive the valid and credible information as well.